fuck. All right. Let's get back to Kamala Harris. She's going to attend a CNN town hall in Pennsylvania.
Focus on.
That's right, Marky. The vice president is in Pennsylvania on the outskirts of Philadelphia for the CNN town hall. And it really follows the same themes as what she's been saying on the campaign trail so far. She has been trying to appeal to undecided voters who have yet to make up their mind. She's going to talk about, how her presidency will differ from President Biden's. And she is talking more and more about the issues that matter to voters. She's talked about abortion. She's talked about, the fall of Roe v. Wade. And what we're going to hear from her really is continue to push that messaging, especially from her campaign in the blue wall states this week that is appearing to show her, slightly losing the edge to former President Trump. And that is a real concern for her campaign as well. This also comes at a time when polling is showing, that the vice president is losing her momentum as well. The DDHQ and the Hill polling aggregate shows that former President Trump has taken the lead in the campaign for the first time since the start of her campaign. So lots of things to look forward to, Maki.
Also, Sarakshi, I know that the vice president is set to campaign in red states later this week, kind of a red state detour, if you will. What's the strategy behind that when she likely won't win those states?
I mean, she's going to Texas because Allred, to support Allred's campaign. That's why she's going to Texas. That's it. I don't think it's I don't think it's that stupid. Texas is closer than polling is showing. No, Texas is not going to the Democrats. That is fucking insane. But the reason why she's going to Texas is because she thinks she can push for Allred.
Look, we've heard from her senior campaign advisors that the reason why she's going to these red states is she's going to be seen alongside women who have been impacted by Texas's near total ban on abortion. And this is something we heard from former President Obama as well yesterday. And so this is what he had to say on abortion.
I saw some dude on TikTok declaring Harris's visit to Texas is proof that that Harris will win bigly on November 5th. Yeah. The problem with that analysis, and I know who that guy is, I'm interested in hearing every fucking opinion on this issue, okay? Because people are just trying to read the tea leaves at this point because there is no way to decipher who's going to win from just simply looking at the polls. The issue with that analysis, I saw that TikTok as well. That dude was saying they're confident. They're so confident in the swing states in their internal polls that they're actually going to Texas, spending any time in Texas right now. So he's assuming that there is a competent campaign in charge, and also assuming that their internal polls must be showing that the Democrats are actually outpacing the national polls and the polls that keep coming out. I think that there's a little bit of copium there for sure. I think that the real reason why she's going is because they are obviously trying to maintain any kind of control in Congress that they can. And the pathway to that obviously has to be a flip. So, that's the reason why she's pushing for it.
Such a deeply personal decision should be made by the woman whose body is involved and not by politicians. And the majority of America agrees with it, which is why you've been seeing Donald Trump try to tie himself into a pretzel on this issue.
So what we're seeing right now is that even though she knows she's not going to win these red states, the Harris campaign, as well as her surrogates, are hitting these red states in order to shed light on this issue and try and convince some voters who may not have made up their minds yet.
Right, yeah, doing everything they can in this final push. Sarakshi Rai, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
Bring in our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, now with the latest on Vice President Harris's campaign. Good morning to you, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, with the final days of this race now upon us, Kamala Harris this morning says while she is focused on the present and making her closing argument to voters, her team is preparing for any potential fallout should she win and the possibility that Donald Trump could try to undermine the results again. This morning, Kamala Harris says she's preparing for the possibility Donald Trump could prematurely try to claim victory on election night, pointing to his actions in 2020.
This is a person, Donald Trump, who tried to undo a free and fair election, who still denies the will of the people, who incited a violent mob to attack the United States Capitol, and 140 law enforcement officers were attacked. Some were killed. This is a serious matter. The American people are, at this point, 2 weeks out, being presented with a very, very...
I think they're right. Imagine flipping Texas would be great. Sure, dude. Getting apathetic voters excited about down ballot stuff could potentially get some to turn out.
Very serious decision about what will be the future of our country.
As she stands poised to potentially make history, Harris pressed on the role that sexism and racism may be playing in this campaign, but making it clear she's running on her record, not her identity.
I will never assume that anyone in our country should elect a leader based on their gender or their race. Instead, that leader needs to earn the vote based on substance and what they will do to address challenges and to...
Dude, I just want Ted Cruz to not be a senator any longer. I don't give a fuck. I really, that would be sick. Okay. I do not think Texas will fucking flip blue. I think that there are enough blue enclaves in the state and enough like annoyed voters against Ted Cruz that like already could have some motion. I don't know. I mean, he's just like this is yet again more so about how awful Ted Cruz is in general. But who knows?
To inspire people to know that their aspirations and their ambitions can and will be achieved.
With less than 2 weeks until Election Day, Harris off the trail amid another media blitz, joining CNN for a town hall tonight after Trump refused their invitation for a second debate. Instead, the campaign deploying some of its heaviest hitters to key battlegrounds. Former President Barack Obama out with her running mate Tim Walz in Wisconsin and joined by rapper Eminem in Detroit.
We do not need to see what an older, loonier Donald Trump looks like with no guardrails. America's ready to turn the page. We're ready for a better story. Michigan, we are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Now tomorrow in Atlanta, Harris will be out on the trail with Obama for the...
Does anyone notice all across the country, Democratic candidates at all levels are campaigning on will work with the Republicans? All Portland metro area candidates are saying this. And no, that's like that's the national party message always, which is really funny because Republicans never run on that. Across the board, Republicans are like, I will never work with the Democrats. They are all pedophile vampires that want to fucking suck up your spinal fluid so they can live forever. They want to microchip you. They have microchipped you already. You're gay now. You're gay and autistic because they gave you a vaccine. Democrats, on the other hand, are like, you know, those guys that are saying all that, we're going to work with them to make bipartisan compromise happen. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's very stupid.
The first time, and Bruce Springsteen will be joining them as well. He, of course, has endorsed the vice president. Now he is lending his voice to her out on the trail later this week. And
what do you say to the libs that work with Republicans that we've got Republicans giving permission structure for reps to stay home and or vote for Harris? Yeah, I don't think it's working. We'll see. Like, even if it ends up working, you've lost so much ground on like any kind of policy prescription you may have had to address the problems that Americans are facing. But even if it does work, it's like so in the margins. Like, this is such a marginal victory over a guy who is genuinely disliked. It just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Next, George.
Mary Bruce, thanks.
Thank you, Madam Vice.
There's a full interview that she did with NBC News Now where she had a couple good pop-off moments. But before we get to that, here is Harry Enton. I tend to think the so-called Democratic panic is quite overblown at this point. Harris still has a very clear path to 270 votes. The polls show Harris basically even, if not slightly ahead in the Great Lake battlegrounds. And she still has potential backup in the Sun Belt path.